Thanks, Mr. Jason. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yisrael El. This is Yehonatan Dawid with you here. Humbly so, very thankful to be here. And this is Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. Still talking about the seals. If I go over and I get cut off, that's fine. You can pick it up on the channel, on the YouTube channel. In the meantime, I'm still operating remotely because of this COVID crisis. So we're operating remotely, and we'll be doing so for the immediate future. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I tell you what, we better be ready, Israel. This is nothing to take lightly. We did the first seal last week. Now, 4 horses. Why 4 horses delivering the first 4 seals, and you still had 3 seals left? We talked about what the number 4 represents and what horses represent. Yahweh is saying, I created the heaven and the earth. And the lie is that in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So the 4 horses is showing that what's going on this earth in respects to the devil being in charge of the earth. So he created the earth. According to him, this is what's happening to it. So that first seal was the anti-Messiah. We have been under that seal for over 2,000 years. And during that 2,000 years, the anti-Messiah has been redefining reality. He has been redefining the creation of whom created it, everything. The size, the shape, the distances. But Yahweh, it's little things he give us to help us to keep from idolatry. How about your tzitzits? 4 of them to keep you from idolatry. Check it out in Deuteronomy 15. The seals are not judgments. These are at least not judgments against the man of sin, not yet. The seals are a natural outpouring of events due to the anti-Messianic rule. This is natural how things go under evil rule. Yah's people have no leadership in this world, no leadership in this world order. We are under the authority of someone else, and we're under the authority of him who's on the white horse. We have no land. We don't even know our own history. We don't even know how to speak our original language. We are effectively defeated throughout the duration of this sealed time period. Throughout these past 2,000 plus years, we have been stomped and trampled, like Daniel said, Daniel 12, like dust. We have zero autonomy for self-direction. We are collectively non-players. He who has an ear, let him hear. He repeats that over and over and over again because the collective call is over. This is an individual call now, Yisrael. This is an individual call. That's where we are now because we don't have land. We can't mount up. You can't put up a front and fight. We don't even have a language or a history. So now it's up to us individually. The Malachim told us this. So, and the 7th seal, when we get to that, is going to be the answer seal. Anyway, so 24, remember we talked about 24, is only in 2 places in the entire Torah. In 1 Chronicles 23 and in Revelations. Tesseract. We talked about that last week. Tesseract, this is multidimensional. Whenever you're reading Daniel, Revelations, you cannot read it in a sequential manner or receive it in a sequential manner. It is written sequentially because that's how we are. But that's not how they see it. There are 24 dimensions in the New Kingdom. 24 dimensions. And can you imagine trying to explain that to people today who can't hardly even manage their own 3 dimensions you're in now? So 24 dimensions. And this book of so-called Revelation is only written to us, for us, for our understanding, have an ear and hear. Remember, there was a special resurrection in Matthew 27, 51, and 53. Now you know why and who. Those are your 24 elders. Prophecy is a pattern. Prophecy is not a prediction. This is not Jimmy the Greek. Prophecy is pattern. If you have Ruach HaKodesh, you should be able to discern the signs of the times based on what happened previously. I gave a strong case for the 17th generation being the last generation. Please be aware that at any moment in time, Yahweh Shua is justified in returning and claiming this world. At any time, he's always justified. At any time throughout history, there would have been a legitimate time for him to come. Nevertheless, at this time, this is the 17th generation. 16 generations give you your 400 years. We have now just crossed over into that last 30 years. Remember, it's 430 years to the day, not 400 years. And that beast who has been cloned was born just last year. We will get into that. So yes, I gave a strong case. If you go back to the channel and look up, talk about the number 17, and you'll see the importance of that number. The strong case for this being the last generation. The seals are not judgments. We're under grace right now. We're under grace and repentance. And grace and mercy, their time is running out. Their time is running out. If you think things are bad now, this is running out. This is your time, because judgments do not produce repentance. Grace produces repentance. You're under grace right now. When it comes to trumpets and bowls, it's too late to get on your knees and seek forgiveness. It's too late. Do it now. The Shabbat is the foundation of eschatology. That is your starting point for understanding these days and these times. You have to know your feast days. This is why the Shaitan seed is destroying the sky. And right now I'm looking out my window, once again, total overcast, because they don't want you to be able to read the moon and follow the feast days. You will not, at some point in time, you're not going to be able to tell the seasons. It's going to be all like one season. So you need to be able to, much as possible, you're going to have to definitely keep the Sabbath day. That is the beginning marker of time. And then your feast days. That's how you're going to know what's going on with these seals, with these trumpets, and with these bowls. Now, we did the first seal last week. Revelation 6, 3, and 4 is the second seal. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. Remember, the seals is one of the easiest things to go ahead and review in the book of Revelations, because these have already happened. This is nothing new. Fiery red, you need to learn some Hebrew so you can know who is who. This is Hashatan's seed. They're fiery red. That means they're energized by him. They are fiery red, and it was granted to them to do this. They are Saroth. They are poisonous, burning copper. Copper. The KJV says red, but it is a copper fiery red. These are his people who, for the last 2,000 years, have been harming the earth. It's been granted to them to do all the murder and mayhem we have been under for the past 2,000 years. They initiate every war, every treaty, every colonial expansion, every law, every educational institution, every problem, every solution. They control all knowledge. Stop letting social media be your teacher. Stop letting social media be your teacher. They control all the world's economy, all of your food, all of your housing, all of your religion. All the religions are one religion, idolatry. They're all one religion with different names. All of these are under Shaitan's fiery red seed for the past 2,000 years. This has been going on. This is nothing new. Revelation 6, 5, and 6. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine. You see that right now. Things are tight. People are struggling, giving out stimulus checks and all this, trillions and trillions of dollars, but you still have the haves separating further from the have-nots. That's what the oil and wine is. Let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. The common man is struggling. All attacks are against Yahweh's people. Every attack, no matter how benign, no matter how removed it seems to be, it is a direct attack against Yahweh's people. Anyone else who gets hurt is collateral damage. All attacks, every rule and law, everything they do is designed against Yahweh's people. Others may get hurt in the meantime, but that's just collateral damage. Here, you have a situation where we have this COVID crisis, yet they can have Walmart and Target and all these places and Home Depot open, and the little guy is closed. So who's going to survive? They are purposely crushing out the middleman and the little man. The big men get richer. They have the oil and the wine. We, in the meantime, are spending a whole lot for just a little bit of wheat, for just a little bit of barley, a whole lot. And that's, have you seen the prices of food? How possibly could your supermarket food prices go up? Fuel prices are way down. It costs less money to get the food to the stores. The fuel prices are way down. And nobody's going to the restaurants. More people are going to supermarkets buying food. The food should be cheaper. Yet the prices are up there doubling, especially meat. This is Revelation 6:5. This is the third seal, what you're seeing right now about what they're doing is separating further the haves and the have-nots. The stock market is up. Everybody's doing Amazon. They're crushing it. Their big corporations are doing better now under this so-called crisis. It's you and me who are not doing well. It's you and me whose lives have been turned around. Got everybody going around looking like bandits and using words they've never used before, like social distancing. The human touch is being taken away. Where is your healing? Telling you to be away from one another instead of being together. And the rich get rich and the poor get poor. Technology has always been a means of Shaitan's seed to subdue, control, rule, kill, reorder the world. Always. How else can one chase 1,000 unless he has what's called, the Bible calls shishabom. Shishabom is inventions. There's no way on this earth a red man can take down 1,000 Hebrews unless he has shishabom. That's how one can chase 1,000. And they kick the leaves and we shake and shiver and we run. We have gone to the bottom. This is the closest thing we got to the judgment right now. Yehonathan Dawit here. YahwehForChristians@gmail.com. 443-306-3518. So the next seal, the fourth seal, Revelations 6, 7, and 8. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale horse. Now, a pale horse is like a livid horse, like a green livid horse. And the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him. And power was given to them over 1/4 of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Wow. Remember, this is not something that's going to happen. This is something that has already happened. We haven't gotten to the future yet. We haven't gotten to the trumpets and the bowls. The seals have happened or in the process of happening. What group of people do you know? You've been to school. in your history classes what one group of people on the earth went forward killing with a sword, hunger and death, and with pestilence out of his mouth, with diseases that other people before they met him never had before. Who came and destroyed whole continents, the whole hemisphere of the world? Who? There's only one. This only fits one person, one group of people who had, and they had power was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword. Who else has done this? Go to your history class. Do not say I'm teaching hate. Right in high school, you don't need no deep education. Who did these things? Who caused hunger and blight and famine? Who put diseases forth over the whole world? Who's putting diseases in your food? Manufacturing, who's mixing with bugs and insects and putting things together should not be. And it said a fourth of the world, 1/4. This has already happened. Africa, which includes Saudi Arabia, Australia, and Madagascar, Africa is over 25% of the world's land mass. And is also over 25% of the world's population. The pale horse, where death and Hades follow, wherever he goes, wherever this man goes who's on this horse, death is with him. If he stays where he is, there's no death. There's happiness and peace for all souls involved before they come up and meet with this pale horse. Death and Hades follow him. And he destroys and kills a fourth of the earth. And that is the Melantonic peoples. The Melantonic peoples is the fourth of the earth that he destroyed. It isn't interesting. You know, Europe is only 6% of the land mass of the world. 9% of the peoples. 6% of the land mass and 9% of the peoples. And look at all this hell this pale horse rider has placed upon the earth. He opens his mouth, death comes out of it. And the garden, the book of Job tells you, before him is a garden, and behind him is desolation. As he moves, he destroys everything before him and leaves in his wake death and destruction, mayhem and bedlam. A desert. Before him is an oasis, after him is a desert. And then he gets up there proudly on top of hundreds of thousands of bison that he slaughtered just so he can kill the Native Americans, take away their food source and their clothing and their shelter. How they needed their bison to help them make it, and they couldn't get them all, so they decided to kill all the bison. Who else rides the livid horse? Your regular old junior high school history teacher can tell you that. You don't need to even have a Bible to know that only one person fits this. One group of people. That's the transatlantic slave trade, destruction of Melantonic peoples world over. The entire Western Hemisphere, they call it, it's not the West. That's what they call it. The slaughter, germs, pestilence, diseases. How about them? And then they're going to give you vaccinations and inoculations for their pestilence and their diseases and their germs. So you're going to trust that? They strip the land. They brutalize the surface. They cover it with chemicals. And Yahweh Shua says he's going to destroy those who destroy the earth. But they're going to tell you recycle your plastic bags. How stupid is that? There's not even more stupid things you can say than that when you're destroying the earth. And you're going to tell me to recycle a plastic bag? You asinine fools. The World Food Bank, the World Health Organization, Monsanto, UNICEF, NATO, United Way, the UN, the G8, Red Cross, Catholic Charities, on and on. All of them are under the Luciferian sway. All of them. There's no good, not a penny's worth good, and all of them combined and more. They're all under one order. And it's all to destroy Yahweh's people. All is against us. Everything. Anybody else who's harmed is collateral damage. All attacks are against Yahweh's people. Make war with the rest of our seed is what the dragon did. He tried to get Yahweh sure he couldn't get it. When he left, he went to make war with the rest of Yahweh's seed, those who keep the commandments of Yahweh and the testimony of Yahweh sure. Remember that. He went to make war with the seed of Yahweh's people who keep the commandments and the testimony of Yahweh sure. So if you keep the commandments and you testify of Yahweh sure, everything that's going on now is against you. It's not against anyone else. And we all are being victims to some extent, but some people are being hurt more than others. Guess who's being hurt the most? Yahweh with you here. Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. Revelation 6, 9 through 11. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar of the souls of those who, now we got through 4 seals, and they're represented with 4 horses because, remember, the 4 is the answer to the lie. Since the man of sin wants to be in control of the world, okay, you got those first 4 seals as representative of what's going on in this earth under evil rule. The seals are not judgments. This is not, at least not against the world. These are natural outpourings of what happens under evil rulership. Dawid laid out the perfect order of government in 1 Chronicles 23. Yahweh said deal, and he did that, and that is mirrored up in Hashmaim. Heaven and earth had the same perfect order once his kingdom is set up here on this earth. In the meantime, we have the demonic order, and what's going on now is natural outpouring. What happens when you're under evil rule? Look what you have. Your blood being spilled in the streets. There's no justice in the court system. Poverty, murder, propping up of homosexuality, everything. This is what you get. Everything that you read about these seals is what naturally happens when you're under evil rule. So now, so the 4 horses have a specific representation of the earth. Revelation 6, 9 through 11. When he opened the 5th seal, see, we don't have the horses now. I saw under the altar the souls of those who have been slain for the word of Yahweh and for the testimony of which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yah, Kodesh and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? Then a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren who would be killed as they were completed. Remember the Tesseract. This is not in order. This is another dimension. The heavenly order is in 24 dimensions. That goes beyond what we can even imagine. 24 dimensions, and here we are in 3 right now. We're in 3 dimensions right now. Can you imagine 24 dimensions? So they have to wait. They have to wait until the number, the fullness of the Gentiles has to come out. Yahweh cannot leave any potential pushback to his judgment. When he gives his judgment, when he brings out that sickle, he has to know, and everyone has to know that it is final, that he has not left out anybody. He has not left out anyone from having a chance of showing themselves to be righteous or filthy. Righteous or filthy. It must be complete till it's full. Because then when the new system is set up, there will be no one ever be able to say, no, we didn't get our full chance. Everyone's going to have their chance. Just need the patience. Shaitan's children are bloodthirsty, bloodthirsty, bloodthirsty. They open their mouths of hell wide. It is never full. They never get enough. Never full. They never get enough. And see, numbers mean something. We've told you about that. If Yahweh gives a number, it's for a reason. Otherwise, he wouldn't give a number. He wouldn't give it. You just say, hey, walk as many steps as you want behind the altar as you want. You know, keep any number day you want as a Sabbath. But everything is specific by Yahweh for a specific reason. And there's a specific number of souls, good and bad, that must come to light, that must come to fruition. This is the time of the Gentiles, and this is their time. This book is written for us, not them. It's for us to know the signs of the times. We should be able to know the operation of Yahweh's hands. Yahweh says he will destroy those who don't understand the workings of his hands, and he will not build them up. It is given to you and to me to know the kingdom, the secrets and the mysteries of the kingdom. You should not be caught unawares and surprised about anything. No way should you be surprised about anything that's going on. You should not be caught unawares. You're supposed to know things ahead of time. Y'all wait for Christians@gmail.com. So Revelation 6:12-17, I looked, and we opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded, a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, the rich men, the commanders, and the mighty men, every slave and every free man hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, from the wrath of the Lamb, for the great day of the wrath has come, and who is able to stand? This has not happened. And this is not going to be in order. This is going to be the answer to who created the heaven and earth. This great earthquake is going to get every last person on the earth attention. Everybody's going to, it's going to be a very sombering moment. This has not happened. Remember the Tesseract. Everything is 24 dimensions. When this happens, is already, this is Yahweh saying, shaking and waking you up. Now, there's a, remember, prophecy, again, like I said, is pattern. It is not sequential. If you go back to Yahushua chapter 10, they call it Joshua chapter 10, what you see here with this seventh seal has the same elements as Joshua chapter 10. You need to read that. I don't want to read the whole chapter, but these same elements happen. And it's very fitting that you have Joshua or Yahushua, because that is the equivalent name of a man compared to Yahweh-Shua's name. Yahushua means Yah, he is salvation. Yahweh-Shua means Yah, I am salvation. So it's very fitting that you have in Joshua 10 this same parallel to the seventh seal in Revelation 6:12-17. In that chapter, you're going to see that 5 kings come against Israel. 5 kings surrounded, and they number as the sands of the sea. They number as the sands of the sea, and they come all together against Israel. But of course, Yahweh strikes a mighty blow, and he fights for us, and he destroys them. But guess what else happens? Hailstones. Hailstones destroys most of them. And these hailstones are at 1 ton, 100 pounds of fire hailstones. There's 2 reasons for Yahweh gives for stoning: blasphemy and fornication and adultery. So you have a world of blasphemers and idolaters and fornicators. So it's very fitting that they would get hailstones, stoning. Remember, they stoned our Messiah for blasphemy. Yes, he was on the tree of sacrifice, and while he was being given a judgment, a Roman judgment with the execution, he also was given a Hebrew judgment of stoning. And there was an improper judgment. He did never blaspheme. But Yahweh will repay. There will be recompense. This world will be stoned for its blasphemy and for its fornication and adultery. Those are the 2 reasons for stoning. This 7th seal, this is the wrath of the Lamb, and it is the day of Yahweh. The wrath of the Lamb and the day of Yahweh. This is what that 7th seal is. This great earthquake is going to shake the whole world. Everyone's going to know then at that time. Because look at this. You had the sun. It becomes black as sackcloth of hair. Who's going to deny who's going to deny the sun then at that time and how far away it is. The moon come like blood. Who is bloodthirsty? The stars of heaven fall into the earth. Right now in your classes, they teach you that stars are astronomical sizes from astronomical distances. This is going to prove that the stars are just little white lights right above the dome when they come crashing down to the earth. That's going to prove this disposition of the stars. So we're going to see the sun, the moon, and the stars all going to be proven to be how the Bible says they are and not how our lying scientists tell us that they are. And they're going to drop like figs shaken from a tree with a mighty wind. The sky is going to recede. Why? Like I said, outside my office window right now, the dome is covered. There's overcast every day. Yahweh's going to roll it back so you can see. You can see. And right now we're being hidden because of Shaitan and what he's doing to the earth. So he's going to scroll it back like a scroll. How about this? The mountains and islands being moved out of this place. It's not just physical mountains and islands. And yes, the world is going to be humbled and flattened down so Zion can rise. The only thing standing in this day will be Mount Zion. But it's not just physical mountains that's going to be moved. That means the governments and the authorities are going to be taken out of the way. He that's on the white horse will be taken out of the way. So the mountains, the governments, the authorities will be moved. The islands will come together. That means all this land mass is going to be all together, and it's going to be one land mass like it was before the days of Peleg. So this is Yahweh saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. You don't believe I created the sun, the moon, the stars? Look what I do to the sun, moon, and stars. Look what I do to the land. Where's the water? I bring all the land back together. No one can do that but Yahweh. Because remember, Shaitan is going to do signs in the air too. He's going to have some signs and wonders. But no one can do this. No one can bring all the landmass of the world together. No one can lay low all the mountains. No one can cause these great signs that Yahweh is putting together. This is Yahweh telling man and mankind, I can show you better than I can tell you. The kings of the earth and even the poor people, everyone's going to acknowledge Yahweh Shua at that time. I'm telling you now, you're under grace and mercy. You better hold on to those women. Do it now. You have an ear here. Today. Before that day. To call upon Yahweh Shua. Call upon Yahweh Shua. Until next week, this is Yehonathon.week with you here, YahwehChristians@gmail.com. Shalom. Shalom.